And just I want to know that the usage of the menti.com, Mentimeter. So then, so in between some poll questions also I will present it. So please participate in the poll questions. So there are some 2 to 3 questions will be there in between, and so you can able to access the Mentimeter, and you can able to answer for the questions, so that I initiated with the location where the participants are located. So thank you very much. As of now, under 29 participants they have joined. So thank you very much for joining and typing your location, and we will start the presentation now. So Venkatesh Raja, please confirm me that whether you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir. The screen is visible, sir. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. So, already Dr. Venkatesh Raja introduced me. Myself is Dr. Marvel, as working as a professor and dean at School of Building and Mechanical Sciences in K.S. Rangasamy College of Technology. And so my specialization is design in mechanical engineering, and particularly the composite materials and the finite element method. And so this is the first lecture for me to have a different kind of presentation to the audience. Various groups through the Atal program. So today I am going to handle the topic on science and spirituality. And uh, what is the definition for the science and the spirituality? And so the science is nothing but you have something like a study of structure and behavior of the physical or natural world through the some of the physical observation and the physical doing some physical experiment. So that will reflect the intellectual and the practical activity, which is what we are going to do, that some physical experimentation, and we get some values and data, and physically we can interact with the concepts. So that reflects the science. And so how it is connected with the spirituality? Then the spirituality is nothing but the recognition of the feeling or the sense or belief, whatever it may be, that there is a something greater than ourselves, and something more to being a human being than the sensory experience. Because then science we deals with the physical experiment, whereas in the spirituality we can sense through our thoughts. So that is the definition for the spirituality. And also then whether it is both the words are different or both are the same, and then we have to analyze, and some opinions will be there from the different peoples. And so that may be sometimes in the people felt that both are same, or both are traveling in the same path, and some people felt that both are different pathways. And so probably we can see that. And maybe the pathway to the science and the spirituality, or sometimes in the opposite direction we feel that, but we should be treated in the both the same pathway. So why I am telling is, so you see that India launched its most awaited Chandrayaan 2 satellite, and so some years back, and the chairman of ISRO was at Tirupati temple to offer the puja for the success of the moon mission. Okay, so it is apparently it leads us to a question: why a super efficient scientist organization, renowned and globally appreciated, needs blessings from God for its success, and why he wants to make a puja for success of the launching of the satellite? And also that why does support of something to back the science is required? Because the developing and launching the satellite into the orbit is relevant to the science. And so the spirituality is he wants to make something like a sense and feel, and then it has to be launched successfully, and he wants to make some puja at Tirupati temple. So that deals with the spirituality. And so then by seeing this activity, then you see science and spirituality are in the same path. So for getting the success, most of us tend to confuse the spirituality with the religion, and the religion is based on the scriptures, certain teachings, has limits and also has the rules and laws to be followed as it is prescribed. And sometimes it's a guess as to the way of life, and there is a boundary and there is a course of rigidity which a religion provides. So whereas the spirituality is an experience, it is not like a physical equipment or experiment, and it is like an experience, like Swami Vivekananda said that you have to grow from inside out, and none can teach you, make you a spiritual. So there are no teachers but your own soul, and then you can able to sense your experience, and you can feel the experience the about the spiritual values. And also then the spirituality deals with the nature of a soul, and also the information related to the soul, and the soul is absolute and the ultimate truth, and also it process of leading the total energy in the body of the soul. So spirituality is about the integrity, and also it helps us to find the meaning in life, provides a foundation of our values to guide us in the way what we are behave with ourselves and also the others and the world around us. So we can have this, some spiritual values. And spirituality is the science of human growth for the self transformation, and also for the world transformation through the peace and the purity. So sometimes we see that spirituality is an attitude that is a positive and looking at the best in everyone and everything. And spirituality is a inner journey to discover inner face, and also about expanding our capability to live, love, and learn. So these are all some foundation values. And the spirituality is the process of balance between the dharma and karma, and spirituality is the process of also the self transformation from impure consciousness to the pure consciousness to achieve the our inner peace and the happiness and the prosperity. So spirituality is the pious, and it provides the ability to oneself, and also keeps us moving in a positive direction. So being our own teacher and guide in the process of our life. So whereas when we talk about the science, it is not only brings a true knowledge, the factual knowledge with the logic and evidences also. So in pursuit of the rational knowledge, then people started questioning the religious beliefs. So more of the scientific discoveries and more the question on our belief system. The science has a more rational approach. It is work of logic and sometimes the proofs. So matter, so there is a no matter, and what kind of or what amount of scientific knowledge we may possess, and it will be very little compared to the vast mysteries of the world. And also there is a void will be filled by the spirituality, and which has been unanswered by the science time and again. So the spirituality fills those gaps and the curiosity and positively. The spirituality itself is extremely scientific. So because it wants to examine the world and its nature, just like the scientists, and it wants to look at the world, it wants to observe the world and see. So what is the world really is? Then we have to look into that. So where does it come from, and what happens to it, and then how does one perceive it from that, and how does it change, and how does it end. So it observes all its processes and its dissolution, and then it's making everything. The spirituality is as like a scientific, very scientific, and then the spirituality goes beyond the science. Then how it goes beyond the science? The science stops at the world, and the spirituality looks at the world, then looks at the self, then see the direct relation between the world and the self. So then it is traveling in the similar path. So it is not in the opposite, both the science and the spirituality. So there are two aspects of the spirituality. So one is then very very scientific observation of the world. The other one is the faith. So that is what we have to look into that about the science and the spirituality. And what are all the important spiritual values? Values. Okay, so any human you can take it from the childhood. So then we need to give the holistic development of the childhood to complete the spiritual development. Otherwise, and then it is incomplete and without the spiritual development. And so when the child grows from the childhood age to the full human age, and then so then you need something like a holistic development, and so then to reach out the spiritual development. And the specifically spiritual development is an incomplete without the cultivation of spiritual values. The cultivation of spiritual values is to be taken care from the childhood, and also then the spiritual values actually make us the spiritual. For example, and then the without values of the compassion and then humility, goodness and truthfulness, then how could we expect a transcendental experience? So without the value of the spiritual like peace, unity and wisdom, then how it is possible to get the spiritual enlightenment? It is very difficult to get the spiritual enlightenment. And so the spiritual values are not the momentary values, but also universally applicable values and affect our behavior across in many situations. And we feel that we also experienced in our life the effect of the spiritual values. So they make the human aware of the difference between then anybody whether he is good or bad, or whether he is truthful or he is lying in the situations, and whether he is a modest act or immodest or crude act, and then humility or he is to be a vain, whether he is a courage or a steadiness, whether he is a patience or impatience and its effect. And also then these are all the qualities which will reflect for any human being. And so then if you are not cultivate the spiritual values so inside the human, and the spiritual values have the power to loom human and achieve their goals by means of the right paths. So when you talk about the holistic development, so then you have to see that there are five aspects of the holistic development. One is the physical, and then second one is emotional, and third one is social, and the fourth one is spiritual, and the fifth one is mental. So these five aspects of the holistic health has to be taken care from the childhood. And also then when it comes to the holistic health, then we are looking beyond the physical body and or addressing the physical, emotional, social, then spiritual and the intellectual health. So what is the path of God? That is the right path. So whether we are following the right path, and then whether we have the mindset, attitude, the choices and actions, whatever we take, whether we are put it in the line of God, or whether we are following all these values into the path of the God. So on the road to heaven, whether moving your towards Him and not away from Him, so whether we are ensuring that through the path of the God. So then we have to reach out from the road to the heaven, and then we need to follow the five aspects of the holistic development. And what are all the factors affecting the spiritual values? There are three categories are there. One, the family and the values. Then second one is the schools and teachers. Third one is the cultivation and the spiritual values. And also then we all know about the value of the universal human values. Okay. So sometimes back the Abdul Kalam also he insisted that then the professional ethics is to be a mandatory course for all the colleges and universities. And they have to follow it. The faculty has to teach the ethics for the sorry for the students. And later and we see that now the AICT is organizing the universal human values for all the faculty members, because the moral values among the students are missing now. And so without the moral values, whether the student is educated, we don't know that the proper education is cultivated among the students. That is why now the people are experts are insisting that the universal home human values are very very important. They have started initially with the student induction program, and so they insisted that some 4 or 5 years back, and every college initially they have to, after the admission is over, when the students comes to the college, then we have to conduct the student education program, teach the moral values to the student. And now they are insisting that the mandatory course, whether it may be a non-credit course or credit course, that we have to take care, and we need to teach the human values to the students. And also sometimes then there is a question arises in my mind whether the moral values will be taught to only for the students, or the faculty, our community also, we should know about the moral values in the to behave in the society. That is very very important, because not only the students to learn the moral values, but also then the other the people also have to know the moral values. So then ethical behavior is very very important among the society. So then you see that what are the spiritual values affecting in the these three categories, and we have the family and values. Then sometimes back in our during our childhood age, and then we are all in the what is called joint families, but now the joint families are missing now. And so what is the advantage of living with the joint family and the what is called now so
வானதி என் phone எடுக்காத.
not into the type of culture
சாரி தம்பி நீ போய் எடுத்து
here
போடாங்க சார்ஜ்.
with like nuclear family, that is called as the nuclear families. And so the acquisition of the spiritual values among the human lies in the parental teachings and the parents own value lead behavior. So previously our grandparents are frequently tell the stories to the children, and so the moral stories are very very important to shape the cultivating of the moral values into the children's mind. And so that is missing now, and human are keen in their observation of how the parents are interact and behave with their family members, neighbors and friends in their life. And we see that sometimes we heard about the statement from the parents like so my word is good during the school days and in the family, but we don't know why he is behaving in the college like that. We normally hear this statement nowadays because they want to escape. And even the children or boys are keenly observing the behavior of the others, and they want to follow it sometimes. And then if the parents are not teaching those moral values, and then how can their boys they learn the moral values from the family? So that is very important. And so then sometimes the parents blame that the institution is not taken care of the student activities, but it is not like that. So the behavior comes from the whatever they learned through the families, the friends and society, and they are reflecting in the organization. So that also then we need to take care of that. And the type of family also influencing the spiritual values, the affecting the spiritual values. And the type of family the spiritual values development among the children, and the forces of social change including the urbanization and westernization, and that also giving the big impact for affecting the spiritual values. And you see that we have some the local cultures, and then we need to be followed. So in whether it may be a religion based, or it may be a locality based, then we need to follow it. So previously some form they have framed the structure of behaviors like that, and so nowadays we are missing all those things. We are not following all those what is called what the grandfathers or before that what they have structured and asked to follow the what is called follow the instructions. But even if it is not scientific instructions, but it will give the good reflection on the moral values of any human beings. But now it is not followed vigorously, and probably we are coming back by teaching the human values to the students. Again, we are coming back to the older age, what we have our grandfathers followed in their life for getting the right path. And the social change, that means so then globalization also which will affect. So we know that so you see that once the student get the what is called MNC companies, the job getting in the MNC companies, and there is a culture they are following. So that means that due to the globalization, and so the weekend parties, and so for the relaxation to the employees like that. So then that also then there is a big social change into the groups and the organization. So that will also sometimes learn something like spiritual values, and some guidelines are affecting these spiritual values. So that is called as the globalization, urbanization, westernization. So that leads to the nuclear family system, where unfortunately the grandparents and other elderly figures are crucial right now, because they are not living with as a joint family, and they are isolated nowadays, and so they are also then trouble in facing the trouble in the society. And the social values of the parents and the children living in the joint and the nuclear families are examined. So the survey is taken by some of them, and they are published in the paper also. The main objectives were to examine the difference in the social value of children and their parents living in joint and nuclear families. And so they have taken the sample of 360 participants, and out of that 360, 240 are parents and 120 are children. So there is a findings from this survey, and the study revealed that so there is no significant difference between the values of children and the parents living in the joint families. But it is observed that there is a significant difference was found between the social values of children and parents living in nuclear families. So that is why there is a frequent divorce or applying in the court also, and they don't know the behavior, and they don't know they're not following the what is called the moral values. So because of that, there is a conflict between the members, family members, and they are not able to rectify it, because earlier days there is the parents, they will listen those conflict problems, and they will analyze, and they will what is solve among the people. And if it is not happening, so that is why that there many cases are diverse, and there is a conflict between the family members, and they are separated. And so then the family structure also does influence the values of the children. And so what the children are learning through the parents and the strength group during the childhood age, and that will reflect in his life. That is, we need to take care of all those things without spoiling the spiritual and moral values. And the next one is the schools and teachers. So then how they are going to be taken care to teach the spiritual values among the children. Then indeed, after parents, the teachers are the ideal position in the children's life to teach the moral values, and the teacher have a key to cultivate spiritual values in children's life, guiding them to the right path. And the school also play a very important role in the moral values of the child. So that's why we need to teach the human and moral values to the students nowadays. organization, the various curricular and co-curricular activities, the teachers can pass on children various moral qualities. Okay, so teaching of different subjects like so we teach the language and business, and also then we teach social studies, and we teach our physical courses, whatever it may be, along with the language physical courses, we also teach the moral values, and which is become now in the head of the US principal values
और वो
of
सीड्स
the
देखो
world of
उसमें
the Indian.
कंटामिनेशन है कि नहीं आज सबकी फोटो खींचो ऐसे ग्रुप ग्रुप भी
When
उन्होंने
we
उसमें लगाना
stress
है
more
इधर
qualities
कंट्रोल हो
like
गया इधर
the
आपका
participatory love,
50
then
100 वैसे ही लगाना
Hello.
how to
Sir, some disturbance. I see the
have self-control,
Sir,
Hello.
please mute all the participants. Somebody is talking. They are unable to hear.
etc. That also then we need to take care of that. So I request participants to mute during this presentation. There are some noise, background noise is coming. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sir, we will mute all the participants. Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
You please wait for 1 minute, sir.
Okay.
Now you may proceed, sir. Option போங்க. ஏன் enable ஆக மாட்டேங்க?
Okay, shall I continue?
Yes, sir. You may continue, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So now, then, how to cultivate the spiritual values among the children now? So now we have the families with the family, that is the society, family members, grandparents, teachers, and peer. So all these members are responsible to teach the spiritual values among the children, and everyone has to take care of all those responsibilities to teach the moral values to the children. So then only those children are grown and coming up with our age group, so they also maintain the social values among all these members like family members, grandparents, teachers, and the peer members. The children at early stages of development spend maximum of their time with the mother. You know that, okay? And so then she can have a very good mother is a very good tool for teaching the moral values by narrating the stories and any other form, so they can able to teach the moral values to her children. And parallel to the mother, father also the responsible person in the family to teach the moral values to their children, and so they are also the accountable for cultivating the spiritual values among the children. Okay, and the children usually go out with their parents and observe the charity given by him to the poor the street. So that also then the children are keenly observing, and they learn the value of charity from such a small observations by doing the parents like fathers and mothers while going out, and how parents meet with others in the society is also the source of observation for the children about the values of parents. So you see that how the children observing the activities of the parents, and the parents how they are responsible and how they have to act in front of the children, that is very important. And sometimes if you see that if the parents are fighting each other, and so those values are strongly memoried in their children, and so sometimes the children are arrogant, so then those problems are coming from such a behaviors observed during their childhood. So then the parents are having the more responsibility to teach the moral values, and So the behavior in front of the children is very very important, and they need to take care of all those things. So next, the spiritual path. Okay, so there are different approaches are there. Should I follow one specific tradition or learn from the many? So always we have the question, and so sometimes it comes to the critical path. Then we ask whether I should follow this one path, or whether I have to look into the different kind of path and take the decision. And so then if that is the case, in my opinion, you need have a bit of both. So then you have to take care of both, and you need to analyze, and you have to walk around the right path, and learn about as many traditions as you feel attracted to, and also choose one as your main approach and focus on that. Then that identification, that decision making is very important by the individuals, and review your choice from time to time as you mature in the journey. And the other extreme of reading and trying everything but not committing to any specific practice is also not so helpful. Okay, so that we need to take care of that. So that is why based on the decision making, and based on choosing of the one approach, so because the people will not decide the same approach by all the members, but they have each members have their own the approach. They will select the in the different approaches. So based on that, their behavior which will reflect through their activities. Okay, so that spiritual path is very important. Some may like the meditation, some may like doing the something doing the exercises like that. So because it is up to their choice, that is very important. And so what are the different paths, spiritual paths are available? One is the path of knowledge, which is remove the anxiety by giving you the realization of your true self, that is non-self, which is incapable of anxiety. And the second one is the path of devotion. So this anxiety is the surrendered wholeheartedly to that principal entity, so that you are devoted to, and you then live carefree. Then third one is the path of meditation. So you learn how to master the mind. Okay, so through the meditation, and pacify anxiety through breathing, and by choosing where to focus your attention. Okay, so this is the path of meditation, and the path of service. Okay, so by dedicating your whole being to a larger cause, so the anxiety of living is overcome. So through the path of service, you can able to overcome by being the larger cause. And the path of energy, you learn how to transform the energy of anxiety by working with it in your body and through your breathing. So this is the five different paths for the followed for the practicing the spiritual paths. And what is the benefits of the spirituality? Okay, so then individual have the spiritual practices that will influence the psychological behavior. Okay, and the psychological well-being, and also then it improves the immune system. Okay, and so the survival rate is higher for the heart surgery survivors if you are doing and following the spirituality. Okay, and lowering the blood pressure and hypertensive levels by practicing the right spirituality, and also the reduce the level of stress of the human being, and it will lower the instance of depression. Okay, and you have the job satisfaction. Okay, when with an increase in the spirituality in the workplace also. So everywhere you can follow the spiritual values, maybe in the family, or so it may be in the workplace. Okay, so that will give the more benefit. Okay, so like job satisfaction and the good behavior, psychological behaviors, and then the human behavior. So it is very important to follow the spirituality. Can science and spirituality go hand in hand? So then we have the different opinion on that, but so when you want to achieve the good path with the spiritual values, and it has to be traveled on the one path, say traveled to be traveled in the one path. So like science deals with the physics, and in the definition itself we have told that it deals with the physical, doing the physical experiment by looking the physical equipment, and so the technological development that deals with the science, and the spirituality deals with the spirit, that is the feel or sense. So like that, and one deals with the material. Okay, so the science deals with the material, and the spirituality deals with the spirit, the real progress or success. Okay, so the development. Okay, so the reformation is possible only because of the science and spirituality go hand in hand. Okay, so then only can able to see that the success of the spirituality. And how do I practice the spirituality? Okay, so by like praying more. Okay, so then prayer you can do that, and so by the prayer you can able to practice the spirituality. Okay, so then the connecting more with the nature. So probably you can take a walk in the roads surrounded by the trees, or with the birds like that. By doing the yoga you can practice the virtuality, and then you can meditate more. So by that you can able to practice the spirituality, and so attending the gatherings of like-minded people, so probably in the temple. So those who are coming to the temple are having the same pathway, and so the same aim, and they are all like-minded peoples, and probably so that gatherings you can able to practice the spirituality, or so you can able to get the spiritual values. And joining a prayer or meditation group are just a few ways you can put your spirituality into the practice. So yoga and the meditation. So maybe you can practice. So then you can get the spirituality. And so the very basic meditation practice. Okay. So and also then the what is called practicing the spirituality in addition to that. So improved sleep also. Then you have the that will get a better night sleep. So then that will create the melatonin production in your mind. So that will be produced by the pineal gland in brain, and then the released into the blood stream. Okay, so and it will during the sunlight regulates your body this melatonin production. So the physical activity improves the sleep quality and increases the sleep duration. And the second one is enhances the creativity. When you go for a long walk, then you are engaging in a form of low level activity. And also then you need to think a little about where you are going and how to coordinate your feet. That is very important for enhancing the creativity. So this is in turn prevents you from getting the bored and frustrated, while freeing up your mind to daydream and then from new ideas and think creatively so about solving the problems. And so increase the production of vitamin D. So walking outside increases your production of vitamin D. So then vitamin D acts like a master hormone, and can help to boost other hormones that improve mood. And the lower level of cortisol. Cortisol is known as the stress hormone, and for the good reason. And so it is abundant in our body when you are suffering with the stress, and can contribute to a wide range of unpleasant symptoms. Also, walking in nature can help to lower levels of cortisol in your body. Simply looking at forest landscape reduces cortisol by 13.4%, while walking in the wood decreases it by reduced to the 15.8%. That is the difference between walking in the landscape, forest landscape, and so reducing the level of the cortisol. Okay, and increase the feel good hormones. Then how to increase the feel good hormones? So then, as mentioned, the melatonin, when you are walking in nature, it is produced, and then you will also start to release more happy hormones, giving you to the natural value, high values. Okay, and also encourages you to the breathe. So the meditation. So yes, you can already breathe, but do you really breathe? Okay, and walking in nature encourages deep breathing and also the rhythmical breathing, and then which in turn stimulate the body to help you to feel calmer. So then, so that will have when you are going to walk in the forest, and then when you are going to walk in the forest, it will boost your energy level. So there is no air as pure as as air you will breathe when you walk among the trees. Then away from the fumes and the toxins of the built up areas. Okay, so as you breathe in the oxygen from the natural environment, so then you will feel then and energized. Okay, so when you are walking in the forest, and also then increases your spiritual well-being. So, okay, so then nature can have a profound effect on your spiritual growth, and you can spend more time connecting with the world around you. So the trees, which are hundreds of years old, so the birds song and the beauty of the nature. Okay, so then you may find your experience as a deeper level of happiness when you are walking into the forest. Okay, and so the basic meditation practice, and the meditation is one of the good practice to get the spirituality. And so what are all the meditation practices are there before that? So then meditation is supposed to be the deepest and the most enjoyable entity. Okay, so this is the belief, this is the faith that the people have doing this from millenniums, maybe something like several hundred years or 10,000 years or 15,000 years or 20,000 years or even longer. Okay, so it is all described that when even if you are not meditating every day, okay, so then meditate on Shivaratri day. It is going to give you much more benefit from that from that and mind, and that your desires also will get fulfilled. Okay, so therefore a lot of then shops are given to the people or places given to the people to go them to meditate on that day. So then maybe you can in Coimbatore also the Nisa Yoga is there. And, so there are specific places to meditate. Okay, so meditate and practice. And but every day meditation is very good for the human being. That too, that the sunrise and the sun time is also good for the meditation. You can follow it, meditate during that sunrise and the sunset time. And it is that sun is setting, and the mind there is something changing. So when there is a sunrise and sunset is big change in the huge nature. Okay, so that is why then the people are preferring to meditate during the sunset and sunrise timings, and the birds get back to the nest. That situation, something is happening to our conscious also. Okay, so inside or something is happening, and it is said that it is very suitable for the meditation. So those times, sunrise and the sunset. Okay, and so then you can have something like comfortable position when you are going to meditate. Okay, so probably you can choose the place, and then you decide how you are going to sit for meditation. And many people like to sit in a comfortable chair, with while others prefer to sit the cross-legged on the ground. That is up to their wish, and whether they are going to comfortably sit in their chair or comfortably sit like a cross-legged on the ground. And then it is easier to stay awake through the long meditation if our back is straight. Okay, so then maybe you can meditate very long time if the backside is straight. And if you begin your meditation practice with this mind, then your body will become used to the position as you move on to longer period of time. Okay, and the second one is the close your eyes gently, and when you are in the comfortable position, okay, then slowly lower your lids, then keep your jaw slack and slightly open as well. And then you want to relax all your facial muscles. At this stage, your goal is to relax every part of your body. If you feel sometimes some tension in certain parts of your body, take a deep breath and allow it to be uh, relax you. And so probably you can practice that and put your thoughts aside. Always when you are going to do your meditation, and don't put your thoughts into your mind, so then you keep it away during your meditation period. Okay, so that you are give your good environment and a calm place for doing the meditation, and so that you can control your the spirituality. Okay, and the fourth one is the keep going, and that is really keep going, putting aside any thought that may pop up into your mind, and so the quiet spaces between the thoughts will become longer and more frequent the longer your practice. Okay, so these are all the basic meditation practices to be followed during the meditation to achieve the spirituality and to make peace and happiness in your body. And the spirituality comes around among the 7 point. One is the consciousness, okay, and the spiritual and moral dimensions of the actions. Okay, so then the concept of the world, brotherhood, and then maybe the inner transformation during the meditation. So then art and science of meditation, of self-realization. So the world originally had a better order and the extraterritorial region. So these are all the built in the 7 points on this spirituality. Okay. So then the spiritual science and spirituality partners for the peace. Then what is mean by peace now? Okay, so it is a concept of the societal friendship and harmony in the absence of the violence. That is very important. Okay, so there is no conflict between the two numbers. Okay, so then we feel that it is a peace environment. And in social sense, the peace is commonly used to mean a lack of conflict and freedom from fear of the violence between the individuals or the group members. Okay, so the example for the peace is a feeling you have on a quiet Sunday morning, in the relaxed time. Okay, so maybe you are sitting on the deck. Okay, so the and watching the birds, you feel that very peaceful time. You feel that, or maybe sometimes you go out in the hill areas. Okay, then you peacefully sit. Okay, and coordinate your thoughts. Okay, so then you keep it in a single point, and you see the nature, and you feel that peace. And then you are feel the peace environment in the particular place. Okay, so that will give you the happiness and peace environment within your body. So that will reflect in your success of the any goal. Okay, so if you are doing peacefully, then you may succeed immediately with that goal. So then the destination is very easy to achieve. So then living peacefully, to live peacefully, then one should start to install peace within the itself. Okay, and also then the charity begins at home when you are going to follow the peace, and one can spread the peace to the family, to the organization where one works, and then to the world, including the environment. So then you are making a peaceful environment among the family, or wherever you are working in the organization, or wherever you are live in the world. Okay, so that is the peaceful environment, and only who are at peace can spread the peace. Otherwise, you can't do it. You cannot gift an article which you do not possess. Okay, so like if you want to gift the book, so then you need to follow the guidelines or pathways, and then only you can guide the other people to follow peacefully. The essence of Oriental philosophy is that one should not fight for the peace. Okay, so then you have to be calm and get the peace. So then only you can able to feel good. And so one should adopt the following means to live peacefully in the world. One is the nurture and get act. So there are the three categories are there. So if you take the nurture, then order in one's life like a self-regulation to be followed. You have to be disciplined. Okay, then you have to be a duty consciousness. Okay, so then you have to follow this, and then pure thoughts in one's soul. Then loving the others and blessing the others, and then behave friendly in nature with the other peoples, and don't criticize, okay, or hurt the other peoples by thought or any means. And then so then you can able to get and creativity in one's head like a useful and constructive, and beauty in one's heart like love, service, happiness, and the peace. Then how to get good health body through the physical strength for the service and how to act, help the needy with the head, heart, and the hands like a charity. And the service to the poor is considered holier than the service to the God, and not hurting and torturing the others either physically, verbally, or mentally. So then you can live peacefully. And this, if you are following all these parameters, and then you can live peacefully in the world, and also then you can teach the peace to the other peoples to follow. And so these are all the following factors that promote living with the internal and the external peace. Okay, so then making the conducive environment, okay, like a safe environment and the completely ventilated environment. Okay, so then the place where is good illuminated. Okay, so then and you feel that the place is very comfortable by creating this conducive environment, then you can live peacefully. Maybe it is maybe in the home or it may be the workplace, then whatever it may be, so then you have to create the conducive environment to work peacefully or to live peacefully, and secure the job and motivated with the recognition and the reward. So that will give the happiness to the human being. Okay, so due to this happiness, you can able to live peacefully, and you may not have different thoughts. Uh, so probably then you have the peace time, and the absence of the tension by pressure due to the limitations of money, or it may be a time. Okay, sometimes we feel that we don't have the money, and then we have the what is called a tension by pressure for spending to the activities, and sometimes we don't have the time to complete the pressure that is work. So it will happen into the organization, and then if you all keep aside all these tensions and with respect to the money or with respect to the time, and you can able to see that you are having the happiness within yourself. That is very important. And so then accordingly then you have to look for solving all those problems. Okay, so like solving for getting the money and solving for getting the good time to complete the work, and you have to think, and accordingly you have to act to handle all these tension situations, so you can able to live peacefully. And the absence of unnecessary interference or disturbance with the other peoples, okay, and not following the guidelines. Okay, so that also it will create it will not create the peaceful environment. And healthy labor relations and the family situation wherever you work, and then the relationship between the co-worker or peer team members, then it has to be peaceful. And when coming from your workplace and into the family, or if you are in the family, and then you have to maintain all these the conducive environment to get the happiness in your inner field. Okay, then the service to the needy peoples, that also will give the satisfaction to anyone. Okay, then physically and mentally challenged people, if you are helping for them in any ways. Okay, so it may be helping to reach one place to the another place for physically or mentally challenged people, or if they need something like money, maybe you can give as a donation as whatever you whatever it is possible. So all these the activities or services to the needy people will make you a happiness in your inside body. Okay. So before that, proceeding the slides, then I would like to have one quiz to the Menti meter, and so probably all you can follow the what you have proceeded with the previous activity. So maybe you can type menti.com, okay, and then you can answer for this. Like the science deals with the physics and the spirituality deals with the spirit. Use the code 51409014, the same code previously what you have used. So the once again repeat you, the code number is 5140 and 9014. The question is science deals with the physics and the spirituality deals with the spirit, whether it is true, false or no idea. So one response I get, I think another one response, three response I got it, two, four, six, 8 people participated, good, 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 10, 10. So among 10 people, 6 are true, 2 are false, and then 3 are no idea. 11, 11 response I received, 12 response I received. 12 response, 13, 14, good, good, 14, 15. You can able to see that there are 10 participants are selected the true. That means they are agreed with the science deals with the physics and the spirituality deals with the spirit. That is why I explained earlier clearly that science deals with the physical, whatever the physical equipment or doing experiment or technological development that will deals with the science, and the spirituality only the sense or feelings. Okay, that with the spirit. So now 18 people responded. Maybe some more participants are expecting now. 19, 20, 'Okay, thank you for your response. Now it is the answer is true, and so there are some 13 participants responded correctly. So then, how can science and spirituality be a partner? Okay. So the spiritual wisdom enjoins the man to lead the life of simplicity and then moderation, minimum desires. Okay. So if you ask anyone, okay, so uh, whether he is satisfied with their holdings, definitely no. Very small percentage they will be satisfied what they with what they are having. Okay. So then happiness is not with respect to money. Okay, then we have to understand that happiness is you will get. So what the spiritual values I told that. So if you do or if you practice the spirituality, and then definitely then you will be very happy. Okay, and so if you are looking more luxurious or the pleasures, and definitely you will not get the happiness inside your body. Okay, so then the well-known Indian adage says that though man himself grows physically and his desires grow young and become compelling, okay, and then the advice is not to over ambitious, okay, almost then impossible for a man to fulfill all his desires. There are many desires within, but so ensure that whether we are able to fulfill all the desires, certainly don't. I don't agree that. Okay, so there are many desires I have, but I not fulfilled with all the desires what I have. Okay, okay, so that is not possible. So even if I'm satisfied with what I have the desires, and then next day morning, then I'm looking for the other luxury items. Okay, so if I don't have the TV, okay, so then I want to fulfill it. So now I got a TV. Okay, so then next day morning, so then I'm looking for other. If I have the cable TV, then I want to put something like the individual Tata Sky or whatever it may be. Okay, so I will have something like I have the bike, and then next day morning I want to have something like a car. Okay, so the desires are influencing the people. Okay, so then if we are able to overcome the influence of the highest desires, okay, and then we are not able to have happy living with a happy life. Okay, I don't say that you want to have something like ambition in your life to get a car or you want to get a very good job like that. Okay, so then you should have ambition, but ambition is not your life. Okay, sometimes you have to satisfy then what you have, what you are having the right job right now, and what the values you have in your life. So with that you have to live happily, okay, and try to improve your lifestyle. Okay, so that you can do that. Then so that will give you the like a good happy life. And so don't have something like over emphasis. That means if you are not able to succeed, and so then you have to happy with what you are having. Okay, and so then if one suppresses the desires. Okay, so then if you are able to control your desires, then one gets mental and physical alignments, they multiply manifold. Okay, so that is what we have to do that in your life to satisfy. Okay, and so the how can science and spirituality be partners with the formula like peace? Okay, so then peace is calculated using this formula. This is also one of the article. It is presented, and then once you get the peace, so level of peace may be evaluated based on the number of desires to be fulfilled divided by number of desires to be unfulfilled. Okay, so with that you can able to identify the level of peace in your body. Okay, so the more that reduces his desires, the more peaceful he will be. Okay, so maybe whatever the opportunities you need to live peacefully. Okay, so that is enough for live peacefully in the world. You have to reduce your desires. So then, if you want to peacefully in the world, okay. So the more we consume, the less remains available in the energy, and the more advanced towards the death. So this is the article written in one of the journals. Okay, so it is very powerful statement that the more we consume, the less remains the available energy, and the more advanced towards the death. Okay, right. So then we have to be very careful. So then, if it is a walkable distance like something like 1 kilometer, and then if you are able to walk, and then don't use your vehicle, and so then you can able to save the fuel, and so that means if you are, it is not only saving the fuel, and then opportunity to provide to the other people, so those needy people. That is very very important. So maybe those fuels may be needed for the needy people. Sometimes they may not get it. Okay, so that you have to do that. And the role of faculty in college
बहुत गंदा था
students
मैच शुरू तो बहुत ही बेकार था मैंने कहा यार
place
इतने
need.
अच्छे क्वेश्चन हुए वो सब तो नहीं हो रही तो इसके लिए उन्होंने बहुत ऐसे कहा था मेडिटेशन है बहुत अच्छा.
So the role of faculty in college students spirituality. So it is very very important these slides. So from our recently collected college students beliefs and values survey in the one of the article, and the additional insight into how the students pursue their campus environments. Okay, with respect to the spiritual matters. Okay, so then the 78% of the students report that there is a discussion on religion spirituality with the friends. Okay, and the 58% says that the discussion in the class about the spiritual values. Okay, so less than that is 8%. The students says that the professors frequently encourage classroom discussions of religious or spiritual matters. You look at it, the first point, 78% is a major percentage of students felt that the only the discussions among the friends, okay, the spiritual discussions among the friends, then that has to be happened into the professors has to take care of those things and encourage in the classroom discussions about the spiritual matters. Okay, so then the 58 percentage of the students there is discussions within the classroom. So without the professors, okay, and whenever the students meet, whenever we teach in the classroom, and we always teach about the spiritual values and what is the importance of the spiritual values. Okay, so from this survey, the 8% of the students say that the professors frequently provide opportunity to discuss the purpose and meaning of the life. So based on that. Okay, so then 62% of the students says that the professors never encourage discussions of religious, spiritual matters and nearly as many. Okay, so by seeing this survey and sometimes when we are going to apply the proposal for to the AICT under the ATAL program, and so always we apply the subject matter. Okay, so if I am a mechanical engineer, I am looking for applying 1 week program, faculty development program on finite element method or composite materials. Okay, okay. So then we have focus only on the subject matters. Okay, then we are not coming out from the subject matters, and we are not open up our mind into the spiritual values or how it is important to the students. And this Dr. Venkatesh Raja, you see that so his thought is applying about this faculty development program on this topic, which will enlighten our faculty members to know about the spiritual values among the faculty members. Okay, so how it is important and how then how to teach to the students about the spiritual values. So I appreciate that Dr. Venkatesh Raja from Sona Mechanical Technology is taking care of this spirituality, and he is doing well, organizing different sessions to promote all these kind of skill sets for the faculty members. Definitely these faculty members will transform to the students to take care of the moral values of the students in the society. Okay, and 56% of the students says that the professors never provide opportunity to discuss the purpose and meaning of life. Okay, so it is a very dangerous situation, and we also always take care of the purpose and the meaning of life through the moral values and the spiritual values. And approximately 39% of the students reports that his or her religious spiritual beliefs have been strengthened by the new ideas encountered in the classrooms. Once you discuss in the classroom, then only the others also come to know that. So, what are all the new ideas to follow the spiritual values in the society? Okay, so that will give the big opportunity in the classroom to learn the spiritual values. Okay, so then why it is important to study the faculty perspectives on the spirituality? We need to understand that how we can create educational environments that maximize the personal and professional potential of students and the faculty. Okay, and the spirituality to become an integral part of higher education, faculty support is of the paramount importance. Okay, so the faculty only can teach in the education institutions about the moral values to the students, and so then then the faculty only can transform the students through the moral values. Okay, so the faculty attitude and behavior are known to have important implications for the students' spiritual growth and the development during their undergraduate years. Okay, so how it is important when they are doing the undergraduate program, and then what is the responsibility of the faculty, and how the attitude of the faculty, and what is the behavior of the faculty to teach the moral values. That we have to take care of that. So then the actions of the faculty, okay, uh, both within and outside the classroom. Okay, so that will influence us the learning and the development of the future teachers like the lawyers and the physicians and the policymakers, scientists and the researchers. Okay, so then the interpersonal interaction with the faculty are known to enhance a wide variety of student outcomes and are one of the most influential sources of undergraduate students learning. Okay, so then the interpersonal skills are missing right now. So when we are going to teach a particular course in the classroom, when we ask the questions and the students are not responding, not responding now. Okay, then we have to give the importance of the interaction during the discussion period. So it may be a subjective matter or these kind of like and the environment like so the spiritual values matter, whatever it may be. So there is a interaction is very important to the improve the interpersonal skills. Also, then I will give you one example. So then earlier days when we are in the childhood age, when we are traveling in the bus, okay, when we are sitting with the neighbors in the same seat, it may be a two-seater or three-seater, and immediately we don't have any opportunity to spend time, okay, while traveling. Then immediately then we will ask with the neighbors, where are you from? Then why you are going? Where are you going to? Then what is your purpose of travel? Everything, and then we talk to each other. You also communicate to the other people that I am this so and so. Then I am going to this place, or I am going for this purpose, and I am going to solve this problem like that. So that interaction will give you something like happiness inside your body. That means then you are sharing your thoughts. Okay, once you sharing your thoughts with the other people, and definitely you will get the happiness in with your body. Okay, so that means then some weight is reduced because by sharing your thoughts to the other people, and that also very important to identify to whom you are sharing your thoughts. So that also that you have to be very careful, and so with that you can able to get the happiness. Okay, so thus that will happen through the interpersonal skills, and that means how to talk to the other people, and then what information to be shared to the other people. So that you should know under the interpersonal skills. And faculty have the ability to impact student experiences and outcomes both positively and the negatively. And interacting with the faculty enhance the students' personal identity awareness and the moral development. Okay, so now, then in addition to that, informal interaction also it will develop or interconnect the students and faculty members to increase the influence of learning the spiritual values, okay, like values, beliefs, and behaviors, and also then positively affect the students on the intellectual curiosity and interpersonal skills and the maturational development. Okay. The faculty mentoring, that is very important. So nowadays we have we are acting as a mentor with something like a small group of students like 20 or 15 students, and we are dealing with the students like what is called the personal and academic matters. Okay, and then we are shaping them, or we are mentoring in the right path. Then whatever the problems academically or personally, then we are able to solve his or her problems. Okay, so the faculty mentoring is also very important to transform the spiritual matters. Okay, so to date there has been no large scale empirical research that focuses on specifically the faculty value, attitude, and beliefs and actions affect the spiritual growth and the development of undergraduate students. And then why should that matter? Okay, so then we are not bothering about that. That is why there is not much research on these values. Okay, and we are beginning this new century amidst rapidly changing the national or international landscape, and also that society today is also voicing more loudly the claim that faculty have a social responsibility to contribute more fully to the well-being of their institution, their student, and the larger community. Okay, so faculty is backbone of any organization to set the moral values, teach the moral values, and monitor whether they are following or not. Okay, so amidst enrollment uncertainties, pressures for accountability, financial cutbacks, and the increasing prevalence of part-time and non-tenure track faculty appointment, pressures on the new generation of faculty to be more inclusive, expressive, and responsive, or the intensifying. Okay, so these are all the problems encountered during some times, and so that will be taken care by the organization, and for the new generation of faculty members, those who are joining in the institution, or they have to be having the professions like a teaching profession. Okay, so at this critical juncture for the professorate, questions of meaning and purpose, connection and authenticity are more critical than ever before. So with that, I am completing this science and spirituality session. And thank you for your attention. So before going to end of this session, just I put another some of the pieces. So So the next question is, I put it in the Mentimeter, and then you go to the browser menti.com and use the code 88795901. I put it in the chat box also. And peace is a concept of societal friendship and harmony in the presence of hostility and the violence. Whether it is a true or false, maybe you can answer that. Participants, please look into that question and answer for that. Are you able to see the screen? Yeah, one response I got it now. Two. Look at the question. Peace is a concept of societal friendship and harmony in the presence of violence. In the presence of violence. 6. I got 5 response, 6 response. 7. 'I need some more response, participants. 7, 9. 9. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patient attention. Then, if you have any queries, 10 response I got it now. Then, the peace is a concept of societal friendship and harmony in the absence of the violence. That is true. Here I have given the presence of violence. So, answer for this question is false. Thank you very much for responding. I am closing this Mentimeter quiz session, and I've stopped sharing my screen. Now over to MOC. Then if you have any questions, and I can proceed for that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Kumarvel sir, for your excellent presentation, sir. In fact, your presentation was in a different dimension than others. So you dealt all the concepts in an engineering way. So you have proved that once again you have proved that you are a mechanical engineer in this presentation, sir. You have shown various statistics and also you have used that Menti website to collect the data from participants, and you have showed the statistics also. In fact, it was a very different and wonderful presentation, sir. Thank you very much. And for the next 10 to 15 minutes, we shall have discussion from participants. So, participants, those who want to interact with the keynote speaker, you can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hands. If it is not possible for you to unmute, you can raise your hand so that we interact with the keynote speaker. Yeah, Professor Vibhintran sir, just a minute, sir. Sir, your mic is now enabled. You may proceed, sir.
Sir, excellent presentation, sir. Speaker, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm Vipinendran from Anna University, Chennai.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Question which you asked, I don't know. You said the peace and harmony, where there is violence and other, improper thoughts, is where we need to establish peace and harmony, isn't it, sir?
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
Because that is why I had picked truth, actually. I will give you, for example, I have an example I thought I will share with you, and you can tell me your comments on it, sir.
Okay.
Very right in telling that teachers are supposed to be role models.
Yeah,
So
yes, sir.
recently, the elections were held in Tamil Nadu, you would know, right?
Yes, sir.
And because of the COVID situation, the number of booths had to be increased. And government gave duty to each and every professor in Anna University except the vice chancellor and the registrar, right? So I was put in charge as a presiding officer in Kasimed, Roypuram.
Okay,
If you are in Chennai, that is the most violent prone areas, and till now in the history, no elections has been done without any incident.
Okay.
So, obviously I feel that love and affection, which is what my guru, Dr. Abdul Kalam, always used to tell me. Love and affection, can work magic. It is a part of the spiritual value. And the previous day when we had the meeting with the booth officers, obviously they were all young people and not very well educated, and they came from background of fishermen carrying knives and all that, and violence was something in their, let us say, in their tradition.
Yes, sir.
But then kind words, inspirational words, stories about Dr. Kalam, you spend some time with them. I had the most incident-free election till now.
Yes,
So they literally at the end of the elections, they were very sad that we had to part ways, and I had to go back to Anna University. So I feel anyone can be with love and affection. Even the most toughest student can always be brought to our path, and spiritual values can be given to them. I have always felt that there were never ever any bad students, and there were maybe only bad teachers, not bad students at all. That is what my guru, Dr. Kalam, always used to tell me, and I still remember that. I just wanted to share.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So really, so all these because of the not aware of the spiritual values. That is why the environment is like that. It is my opinion. And so if nowadays it is like a very higher value. So because of that, then we are turned back to teach the moral values in all the aspects. Like we have thought of teaching the moral values in the schools and the colleges like that. And so in between, sometimes it was missing. It is my opinion. I think you also observed that, sir.
True, sir. Actually, our students have very few role models in the society now. We teachers only have to be their role models because, as you said, they are always observing us, how we behave, how we talk, what we talk. Apart from the subject of engineering, they are always watching those kind of things also, sir.
Yes, sir. So when I remember my childhood age, when we are in my grandparents and father, mother in the same family, and they will not allow to take food on the bed. They always ask to take food in the floor by cross position, and that is why they have taught. And also then they will not allow to take food on the bed while the senior peoples are in front of us. We will not allow to sit in the chair, or we will not allow it to sit into the bed. Whenever the age highest to our age, and we have to stand and give the respect to them. Those moral values also now it is absent. So yes, sir.
Very true, sir. Very true. In fact, but then our students are exposed to much more outside world than we were, isn't it, sir? When we were young.
Yes, sir.
Nowadays, a lot of Western culture and things like that are definitely teaching in lot through mobile. Obviously, everyone has a mobile, so they can be influenced unless we bring them back to our own cultural values and spiritual values. So they can be
Yeah.
very diverted. That is one thing. What was
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your experience during this polling period, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Professor Satish, thank you, Vipindran sir. Next, I would like to invite Professor Satish. Yeah, Professor Satish, you have raised your hands.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Venkatesh sir, for arranging such a nice sessions and calling the gems of the from the society, and they are very much experienced and learned people. Sir, my question to Kumaral sir is, as you said that the peace is related to simplicity, desires, and moderation. This is true, sir,
Yes,
because
sir.
this is true because I visited Bhutan last year, and there I find the most peaceful country in the world. The reason is I was going around the various cities. I came to know that the people are always having a smiling face. The reason is they have got a list desires. I was in the exhibition, and people are offering some gifts. So once they are passing from one person to one booth to another booth, if you have been offering some pen or something gift item, they say no, sir, I already got it from the a previous booth. They offer it to
Ah,
somebody.
yes, sir.
So such a wonderful, nice people were there. And even I went in the night around 10, and it was an observed that the head police station was completely closed and lights were off and police were sleeping. There is no theft, no begging. People have a common dress code of queen and king, and they follow the spirituality. Everyone is following. Even the people is sitting in the shop, they go on chanting the mantras all the time. There is no bargaining,
Yes, sir.
and they are not much worried about the physical entities.
Yes, sir.
And literally, I felt it that yes, minimum desires will give a peace. And
Yes, sir.
simply as if you are leading a simple life, they have a common dress code of king and king. Even though whatever may the fabric quality, but altogether they'll follow the same.
Yes, sir.
They'll follow the same. And because of that, there is no discrimination as such.
Yes, sir.
And by that means who is a poor and who is a rich, no discrimination. So people doesn't feel any pain or they'll not be sad because of this. And theft is very low. I don't know really. It's a poor country, but still then it is win. My second concern is the AICT has introduced an ethics into engineering education, business ethics or professional ethics. But and that includes many chapters like spirituality, morality, value, and different codes of all those things, ethical codes. But the seriousness of the students is not there, even though we are because there is no exam writing, and by that means if you want to submit the assignments, they simply submit it. But that should be taken by the heart by the students. Is any other ways and means where we could take the students to the spirituality and moral values to understand at this UG level, so that our future generation will be have a better spirituality and moral values, because that is badly needed, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would like to share one experience. Sometimes that society also enforces to break the moral values. Because, for example, you take the example, when I want to buy something in the shop, okay, so then I know that we can bargain in the particular shop, okay, and there is no fixed price. And once the shopkeeper is saying that this is 50 rupees cost, and then immediately what our thought is, we want to bargain it. Then immediately we ask that 30 rupees or 35 rupees, and we are bargaining finally, and we are taking like with 40 rupees of cost. And before bargaining to purchase any this thing. So what we have to do is we have to think whether this article is worth for the price. Then we have to analyze that. If it is worth, we should not bargain, and we have to give the cost of that product. Okay, so that is very important. If we are not realizing that, we always keep the mind we need to bargain and get the lower price, and we have to give only with the lower price. We have to purchase only with the lower price. In that mindset, if we have, and then definitely the moral values will not be there between the peoples. Okay, so we have to realize that if it is worth for 50 rupees, then we have to pay for 50 rupees and then get it. So if we follow that, definitely the moral values will be in place. So always we are bargaining, we have the mood in bargaining, then definitely the shopkeeper will say initially higher value, even if it is worth for 50, then he will say 100 rupees, and then we will bargaining, then we come back to the 50 rupees. That is the problem. And the one more another experience is when my son got a MS in the Sweden country, and there is a orientation session before going to the country. And one of the orientation session, they say that there is the experience. One of the students went to the shop, and he don't have the cost what he is looking for, and he is having only a less money, and immediately but he has purchased, but he is not able to pay. And the other people standing nearer to him saw this issue immediately. So he paid the balance amount, asked to take, and she has given the phone number, asked to pay once they reach to their place. Okay, so but she has not taken his mobile number or any contact address. She felt that so definitely they will transfer the money whatever she spent. So that confidence and that faith is put into the person. Okay, so that is what we have to do. That we have to faith the other people, and also those people also have to maintain the faith with the other people. So then if they are helping, then definitely we have to repay the amount without any delay. So that we have to follow that. So then only these moral values into the place. So then only we can have something like a conducive environment. That is why I search in the net. So most top 10 countries living with peacefully, then all these European countries will be there one by one, like Sweden and Denmark, Netherlands. These are all the peaceful countries to live peacefully. So maybe you can search it in the net. So that culture has to build up in the society, so that then we have the conducive environment, we have the peace, and we have the happiness with our, and then we have the low desires. We should not compare with other people. And whatever the goods we have, then we have to satisfy with that. That is why I told that we should not limit ourselves, but we have to have desire, higher desires, but we have to work on that to get to achieve those desires. That is what my opinion is. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your valuable thoughts, sir. Satish.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Satish. So, any other participants, if you would like to interact, please raise your hands. Okay. So, sir, it was really a wonderful session, sir. Your session was mixed with spirituality, science, as well as engineering. It was a unique blend of all these three proportions. You have made the presentation in such a wonderful style. And Mr. Sonia Babu, you can unmute yourself and you can interact with the speaker.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir, I'm Swayam More from the Chief PFP College near Shirdi.
okay.
In your PPT, I saw that the time and the money, if it is not in your hand, you got depressed.
Yes,
Sir, how I can handle these two things? That is my question to achieve this
yeah.
peace.
Yeah, that we have to sort it out your priority, and if you have some money, and then we have to give some priority what things to be buy, whether it is really needed, and if it is not really needed, only for sake of luxury items, and then you have to keep away. Then don't buy it, and then that money may be saved. So when you have the needy time, and also then you can use that money. That is one way, and the other way, that is why the desire, that is desire comes into the place, and you have to limit your desires, and for the living, what is it is necessary, what is the need of the product, whatever it may be. So that one way, and the time also, then you have to see that how you are balancing your time, okay, and so then maybe managing time is a big topic. You have to give the priority for that. So which is to be completed first, and then which is to be the next round. So in that way we can balance both the money and the time to have something like peaceful life. Are you satisfied with that?
Okay, sir. I'm trying in that way also.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
चली जानी चाहिए ना इसमें कॉफी होने के बाद तो
Yeah, thank you.
डिशवॉशर में
Professor.
ये नहीं धुलते यार प्लास्टिक प्लास्टिक मेरे ख्याल से
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ramnesh Raja sir,
Thank you,
for
sir.
our.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for sparing your valuable time with us. Indeed, it's a great pleasure for us to have you as one of the keynote speaker in this faculty development program. So on behalf of our management as well as department and the entire team of organizing members, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you, sir. So thank you once again. So we will try to meet in one more program, sir. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Andesh. And I surprised while seeing the pamphlet. This kind of program only one day or one session. People will think of to organize, but then you made a 5 days program. So really, it is very good thought. Put it into the Atal program and getting the permission for organizing to the faculty fraternity. It is really wonderful. Hats off to you for organizing this kind of program for the faculty members, apart from the regular technical concepts. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Can I leave now?
Leave, sir. You may leave, sir. So dear participants, so thank you very much. So the next session will be started sharply by 12 p.m. So right now it is 11:40. You can have a short tea break for about 20 minutes. I request the participants to come back by 12 p.m. The keynote speaker for next session will be Dr. Sumedha Talwar. She is a teacher from Art of Living, Haryana, and we are expecting an interesting afternoon session. Thank you very much. We will meet again by 12 p.m.